Hello everybody, this is the second part to the factoring practice. So looking at 21, go ahead and try it out. Alright, so looking at all four of these, I knew it had to be at least two, so then I tried, okay, what happens if I do four? And it does work, so I'm pulling out a four. And then I can't pull out any letter because 140 doesn't have a variable. So 32 divided by 4 is 8, and the end of the third just rides along, plus 80 divided by 4 is 20, and squared just rides along, minus 56 divided by 4 is 14, the end just rides along, and 140 divided by 4 is 35. So 35 doesn't have any common factors with the other ones, so we are good to go. All right, so next part. We are looking at this and we are saying we're splitting it in half. So let's go ahead and do this first half. So we have 4 parentheses 8n to the third 20n squared. The biggest number that goes into both of those is 4. And then I had n to the third, n to the second, so I'm going to pull out n to the second. So 8 divided by 4 is 2. I had 3 n's, I took 2 away, so that leaves me with 1 n, plus 20 divided by 4 is 5. I had 2 n's, I took 2 away, so those all go away. Okay, for the second one, I want to make this look like this. So negative 14, to make it look like 2, I need to pull out a negative 7. So negative 14 divided by negative 7 is 2n. Negative 35 divided by negative 7 is positive 5. So my final answer is 4 parentheses 4n squared minus 7, because that's what was out in front, and then 2n plus 5. All right, go ahead and try the next one. Okay, so looking at all these 6, 21, 14, and 49, there is no number that goes into all of them, so I'm going to go ahead and just split them in half. So 6 and 21, the biggest number that goes into both of those is 3. I had 3 n's and 2 n's. I'm going to pull out the 2 n's. So 6 divided by 3 is 2. I had 3 n's. I took 1 away, so that leaves me with 1 n. 21 divided by 3 is 7. I had 2 n's. I took 2 away, so that goes away. Now I want to make the second half look like this right here. So 14, how do I make negative 14 look like a positive 2? I'm going to pull out a negative 7. So that leaves me with 2n plus 7. So my final answer is 3n squared minus 7 and 2n plus 7. Perfect. Okay. Now let's go ahead and go on to the next part. So this one we're factoring by grouping with 3 terms. Let's go ahead and try it out. So looking at this, there is no greatest common factor, so I couldn't pull anything out, so I went ahead and multiplied the 3 and the 10 together, so that gave me 30. Now, I went online to look up, well, not for this one, but for other ones, I looked up what are the factors of this, and I figured out what will add together to give me negative 13. Well, 3 and 10, but they both have to be negative. Okay, so now, oh, I forgot one thing. We did have a GCF. We could pull out an R. So that leaves me with 3R to the second minus 13R plus 10. Okay, there we go. Now we can split up my 13R into negative 3 and negative 10. So we have R parenthesis 3R squared minus 3R minus 10R plus 10. So now we can split it in half. Now it literally just changed it so that it is now factoring with 4 terms instead of just 3. So now we have R parenthesis. I can pull out a 3R for this first one. So that leaves me with R minus 1. And the second one, I can pull out a negative 10. So that leaves me with R minus 1. My final answer will be R parenthesis 3R minus 10, R minus 1. Okay. Go ahead and try out the second one. So very first thing, you pull out your GCF, and then you multiply the first number and the last number together and figure out the factors of that number. So there is no GCF here, so I went ahead and multiplied 5 times 14, which gave me 70. Then I looked up my factors of 70 and saw that, hey, 2 and 35 give me 37, but they both have to be negative. So now we can go ahead and do this. We have 5k squared minus 2k minus 35k plus 14. Now I could have swapped those all I wanted. I could have said 5k squared minus 35k instead of minus 2k. It does not matter. You will still get the same answer at the end. Looking at this though, the way I did it, I could split it in half. Looking, I can pull out a k, and that's it for that first part. So I have 5k minus 2. For the second one, I can pull out a 7, but I want it to be a negative 7. So that's going to give me 5k minus 2. So your biggest thing here is I just want to make this look like this. So I have to figure out what do I have to do to it to make that happen. Now we're just writing our final answer. So we have k minus 7 and 5k minus 2. All right. Go ahead and try out 9. So looking at it, 5 goes into all 3 of those, and we can pull out m to the second. So 15 divided by 5 is 3. I had 4 m's. I took 2 away, so that leaves me with 2. Negative 70 divided by 5 is 14. I have 3 m's. I took 2 away, so that leaves me with 1. 245 divided by 5 is 49. Okay, so now we're going to multiply 3 times 49. Oops. 3 times 49, which is going to give me, where to go? 147. Then you can look up all the factors of 147. Literally just go directly onto Google and type in what are the factors of 147, and it'll give you a list. Then you see which ones could possibly give me negative 14. Well, since I saw that it's a negative here, I knew one had to be positive, one was negative. So I made my bigger one negative and my smaller one positive. So now I'm just keeping that 5m squared out in front. We have 3m squared plus 7m minus 21m minus 49. Again, you could have switched these around any way that you wanted. So we have 5m squared, parenthesis. I can pull out an m here, so that gives me 3m plus 7. And then for the second part, I can pull out a 7, or a negative 7, so that's going to give me 3m plus, m plus 7. So my final answer will be 5m squared, m minus 7, 3m plus 7. All right, go ahead and try out the next one. So looking at it, my GCF here is 3. So 21 divided by 3 is 7x squared, plus 135 divided by 3 is 45x, plus 18. 7 times 18 is 126. I looked up the factors of 126. It gave me 3 and 42. That would give me 45. So then I have 7x squared plus 3x plus 42x plus 18. So now we have 3, parenthesis. I can pull out an x for the first two, so 7x plus 3. And for the second one, I can pull out a 6, so plus 6, parenthesis. 42 divided by 6 is 7x plus 3. All right, so my final answer is 3x plus 6, 7x plus 3. Okay, go ahead and try out the next one. Looking at it, there is no GCF for all of these, so I went ahead and multiplied 7 times 10, which gave me 70. The factors of that add up to give me 17, or negative 17, or negative 7, and negative 10. So now, we have 7n squared minus 7n minus 10n plus 10. Now we can split this up. So for the first one, I can pull out a 7n. So that leaves me with n plus, or nope, not plus, minus 1. Minus 1, there we go. I can pull out a negative 10. So that leaves me with a positive n minus 1. So my final answer is 7n minus 10. N minus 1. All right, go ahead and try out 12. So for these, I saw that they were all even, so I could pull out a 2 at the very least. So let's go ahead and test that out. We have 7x squared plus 41x minus 56. And that's it, because 7 doesn't go into 41. So now 7 times 56 gives me 392. I looked up the factors for that and saw that -8 and 49 add up to give me 41. So now we have 2 parentheses 7x squared minus 8x plus 49x minus 56. So now we have 2. Let's split this up. Well, it looks like I can only pull out an x for the first one, so I have 7x minus 8. For the second one, I can pull out a 7, so plus 7, parentheses 7x minus 8. So my final answer is 2x plus 7, 7x minus 8. Go ahead and try out the next one. So looking at all of these, there's no number that goes in all of them, but all three have an x, so I'm going to pull out an x. So that leaves me with 5x squared plus 39x plus 54. Now I'm going to go ahead and multiply 5 times 54, which gives me 270. I looked at the factors of that and saw that 9 and 30 were there. 9 plus 30 is 39. So we have x parenthesis x or 5x squared plus 9x plus 30x plus 54. Again, you can switch those all you want, and you will see that we do get the same answer no matter what. For the first two, I can pull out an x, so that leaves me with 5x plus 9. For the second two, I can pull out I can pull out a 6, so that's going to leave me with 5x plus 9. There we go. So now I have x parenthesis, x plus 6, 5x plus 9. Okay, very last one. Go ahead and try it out. So looking at these, a number won't go into all three, but k squared will. So that's going to leave me with 3k squared plus 17k plus 10. Now, I couldn't pull out a number, so 3 times 10 gives me 30. My factors of 30 that gives me 17 are 2 and 15. So now we have k squared, parenthesis, 3k squared plus 2k plus 15k plus 10. Now split them in half. So now we have k squared. For the first two, I can pull out a k, but that's really it. So I have 3k plus 2. For the second one, well, I want to make 15 into 3, so I'm going to pull out a 5, so plus 5. So that's 3k plus 2. So my final answer is k squared, k plus 5, 3k plus 2. Okay. If you have any questions on this, feel free to send me an email or join one of our Google Meets. I'm on from 9 to 10 and 2:20 to 3:20. So, have a great rest of your day, guys.